I'm waiting for Rebecca to join us. Hey.
Hi.
Oh man, my head's cut off.
Sorry, I had to read something that Taylor Swift posted real quick.
Oh my God, I turned this on live and I
Uh-huh.
didn't understand, like the camera was facing the other way and I was just sitting here smiling.
We did the whole show like that.
Yeah.
It's such a
Hey,
grandparent thing to do.
I
Oh,
know.
look.
JB Vamp is here.
Yay.
Hi everybody. We're just waiting a
Hi.
little bit and then we'll get started.
Yeah, thanks so
Thanks
much
for
for
joining.
joining. Yeah, we're happy
It's
to be
been a
back.
while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was telling Rebecca that whenever I went live on here, so I'm off. The thing is Rebecca was like, can you get an Instagram? And I was like, yeah, I can get an Instagram. But we didn't say, do you know how to start a live show? Because I sat here for like 3 minutes trying to figure it out, and then it was facing the other way. So
Yeah.
we're off
Yeah.
to a good start. I don't have this position very well.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Also, I texted her, like I said, an hour before, and I
Hmm.
totally freaked Lindsay out because she
Yeah.
thought, like, I was asking, like, in a passive aggressive way, do you know how to do this? You know?
No, I thought you were like, is it not like, can you not figure it out? Because we're all waiting. Like, I just imagined you like waiting, and I was in the bathroom. Like, it's not gonna happen. What shirt do you have on?
I've got a sweater on. I didn't wear I has.
Oh man, come
It's
on.
cold here. It's 23 degrees outside right now.
I don't know anything about that.
I know.
What
How is
time is
everybody
it?
doing? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, super
Sorry it
cool,
was
man.
such short notice. That's how we roll.
Yeah. We had this whole rollout planned and we were gonna do all these things on TikTok and we're gonna announce and then it was like the week of and I didn't post till 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is gonna be season 2, everybody. So like if I could say reboot, like people say remix.
Reaper.
All right. Well, is there anything we need to go into before we start live show? Or the actual show?
Maybe just like to let you guys know how we do this if you haven't been with one of our shows before, is that we're going to be like we're interacting and really excited to see you guys right now.
Mhm.
But we'll probably kind of ignore you a little bit whenever we start. I might read some of the comments that y'all put out
Yeah.
there if they're relative, but usually we're just she and I bantering back and forth. But you know how podcasts work.
Yeah. And we'll be recording our show that we'll also post on like Spotify and everything. So we'll
Hmm.
go through that process. Look at these. Look at these. Okay, so I'm notorious for not using my microphone. So I was like, I have to be able to hear and like know that I'm on the
Yeah.
mic, right? So I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna go like high fidelity, like Rob style,
Mm.
and I was like, it's
Mm.
gonna be cool. And I got it. They're awful. Look at them. Wait, you take one of these out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is awful. I'm like fucking. Let me like bring the plane in, but I can hear myself really well, so that's good. Yeah. Are you gonna wear it?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear mine.
Oh,
I
okay.
just don't have them on right now. I'm gonna put
Oh,
them on
it's all
whenever we
right.
start.
Yours are all little and cute. Mine are all huge, but
I
they're
saw these on
big.
Girls. You remember
You
that
got,
show? Of course
yeah,
you
I
did.
have the same fucking pair, dude.
I didn't think yours were dark. I thought yours were lighter.
Monster boo boos. Boo.
The boohoos. The whales.
Yeah, mine fucking broke. Mine broke, so I'm done. I mean, I'm done. Like, I had the other ones, I had kitty cat ones, and this time I was like, fuck it, I'm just getting.
You're getting the industrial strength, like,
These are gonna last the longest, and I'm gonna look
yeah,
the coolest.
true,
Okay.
true.
Well, glad I
Shall
fixed
we
my
get
hair.
started?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, hang on a second. We have to count down our recording.
Oh, what are we gonna do? How do we do that?
Just you
You
count
can.
down and then we do. Huh?
Oh, okay, wait. Okay. Well, you want me to just go one, two, three, go?
Yeah, let me just make sure everything is okay on here. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I didn't even know how to start live. JV Vance said my headphones look retro. That's what I was
Yeah,
going
they
for,
do.
like kind of like 80s. Like, have you seen High Fidelity?
Hello. Hello. Are you asking me if I've seen High Fidelity?
No,
Oh,
I was asking people looking at my big retro. I mean, do I look cool?
yes. You look very cool. I like them.
Oh, I did it wrong. You take it out of the one that this is off of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having some trouble in it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's okay. Like, it's
Thought
been a
about
while since we've done
drinking,
this.
but I'm on steroids, and I was like, let me look it up. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. Whew. Yeah, that feels a lot better. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh,
All right, you
now I
ready?
hear feedback. That's great.
Okay.
Okay. It's because of
Three.
the
Oh,
situation. Sorry.
okay. So you ready?
Hmm.
3, 2, 1, go. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome
Hello.
to I
I
Have a
have a
Strange
strange
Story
story podcast.
podcast.
We're back,
Yay! This is
bitches.
season 2. Oh man, my microphone made it in the frame. Okay, it's out. So this is a podcast where two sisters retell people's strange and paranormal stories and experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Lindsay,
I'm Rebecca.
and this is the reboot. We ended this motherfucker like
Yeah, we
how
did
many
it. We
months ago?
came back.
We were done. You know what? When we ended it, I was like, it's not over. Because I think I even said that on the last show.
Really?
Because I think you thought it was over, and I was like, nah, it's not over. We're gonna come
Mm.
back. It'll be
Oh
better.
yeah.
We'll be dedicated. We'll be stronger, bigger, faster.
We're going to like, and we were for like a week on TikTok. We were like, we're gonna show
We made a
everybody
whole
who we
video.
are. We
I don't
had.
know if y'all saw the video. It was amazing.
If
It
there's
was
any type
really
of award that people get for social media TikTok videos, we should get it.
uh-huh.
It
I
was a
think they
whole
get.
deal.
I think they get followers. That's the reward for like doing good like videos. I'm
Okay.
not sure though. I could be wrong.
That's probably right.
I
That's
think it's
probably
right.
what that word is, followers.
I think so.
Yeah.
Um, okay, cool. Well, this is okay, so season 2, episode 1. I'm going first today, right? But I think we're gonna
Yeah.
go over a few things first.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
gonna like reintroduce ourselves because we're different people than we were, what, 4 years ago, did we
Four
decide?
years. We started this 4 years ago.
4 years ago? Yeah,
It's
and
fucking
also
crazy.
we've been gone, so you may have forgotten who we are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's start with a few very important things to get out of the way. What
Hmm.
is your Hufflepuff house?
I
Oh,
am Hufflepuff. Are you interviewing me?
I mean, I think I got really distracted by looking at my headphones. No, I was gonna ask what's your house for Harry Potter. You're a Hufflepuff, and so am I. All right, we got that
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Okay. The next thing is what's our sign? So I'm a Pisces, and
Hmm.
what are you?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say I don't know much about like signs, and I know people are really into it. All I know is that I'm a Pisces, and it just basically means like it's a really good sign. Like, right?
Yeah,
It's like the
yeah.
best sign, the sign of all signs. I'm
It
a
is
sign that
the,
has everything like rolled up. I'm
yeah,
talented.
yeah. You
Yeah.
you take like everybody has qualities of the zodiac in some aspect in their life. That's kind of what astrology does in a
Yeah.
tiny, teeny, tiny nutshell because I know nothing about astrology.
Oh, I
Um,
thought you did.
I've pretend like I do or like
Oh.
I want to. I listen to things and I read things about it. But yeah, like you being a Pisces, you're exactly right. It's like all of the other qualities and traits of the previous zodiacs kind of rolled into one.
Oh, I wonder if that is kind of weird though. I was like, it's great. It's like it's kind of crazy.
So I think that it's kind of like your sign is in the constellation or the sky as the one that has learned from everything. Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not quite sure. Okay.
Okay.
Do you
Neither
want me
am
just
I.
to tell all my shit and then you tell your shit? Is that
That's
a little
fine.
more? That's easier. All right. I was
Yeah,
interviewing you.
let's
I
do
don't know
that.
what I'm doing. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm 38. I have two pets. I have a dog and a cat, Lily and Ruckus. They're both emotionally abusive to me. Like Lily doesn't let me sleep. Like she does sleep deprivation, and Ruckus doesn't let me leave the fucking house. I can't even go to the bathroom like without him like losing his shit. So that's my relationship status.
hmm Cats.
Um,
Cat and dog.
yeah. And then, do you want to say why we believe and don't believe for later? You want to go through your shit and then talk about that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you go. Now you
Um,
introduce yourself, Rebecca.
okay.
Oh man, I think I've already fucked that up.
So I'm Rebecca, and like I am a Sun Taurus, a Moon Pisces, and a Rising Sagittarius,
Oh my god.
which equals extra.
You,
And like,
you were just like, I don't know anything about that shit. You lied.
no, I don't. I just know where my shit is. That's all I know.
I'm already getting
Yeah.
headphones comments. I'm sorry. I didn't know they were going to be this big. I
You
landed a
just
plane earlier at the very beginning of the show.
hmm Yeah. Um, so I'm all those things.
Uh-huh.
I am 41 and I have two cats and a dog. I have a dog named Bruce, who's a giant white beast, and he's really sweet and really cute. I had him on the show like before we quit,
Hmm.
but he's a big dog now. He's real big.
Yeah,
And
he's a
then I
big boy.
have a cat named Kiki, who is a beautiful Siamese that showed up at my house. And then I bought a cat with my own money. I know it was like a bad thing to do, and I don't promote it, and I promote rescue, but like I
Yeah,
just
I
wanted
didn't
a
know you
kitten.
bought him.
I know I did. Craigslist. I bought a kitten off of Craigslist
Wow.
because I wanted a kitten. And his name is Corbin Dallas, and he is the best investment that I've made in
Oh
2022.
man, that's sweet, dude.
He's such a cool cat. Like, he likes to be held. I can just hold him like this, and he
Oh
likes to be like upside down.
man,
He's
you needed a good
it's
cat.
funny. I
I
did need
mean,
a good cat.
your cats weren't bad, but they weren't nice. They're the meanest fucking cats I've ever met in my life.
Well, yeah, like Jet, my last cat was cool. He wasn't nice to you. He loved me, but I could pick him
He,
up and do stuff like that.
yeah,
But like
okay.
Corbin's real cool. And then what else?
That's
Oh,
it.
and so like we're gonna talk about what we believe, right? And what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't believe.
If we believe or don't believe, because that's how we started out the last show. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think that the premise of the show last time was pretty much that you believed and I didn't,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, the tables have turned. Now I believe and you don't. I'm just kidding. I wish you would have fucking spit that out. I wish it would have like gone in your face.
I know, but I haven't taken one sip because I don't want to laugh and
Oh,
spit it
okay.
out.
Okay. Meow. Like, okay.
Oh man.
Um, okay, so I think originally I didn't believe because I think that I didn't have like an imagination and I think I was just scared. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know if scared is the right word. But definitely after the last 126 shows we did, I decided I was like, dude, there's too much. Like, there's no way that I can't believe some of this shit or all of this shit, right? Or at
Yeah.
least believe that the person who's expressing it happened to them, they're saying it happened, and there's no reason for me not to believe you, right?
Right.
So then, I totally got into it and I totally believe all of it. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Like
Hmm.
I have an
Okay.
amazing imagination.
You okay?
Lindsay just made us a very upset face. I think she's
Oh,
very
I was
hot. She
taking my
took off
shirt
her
off.
clothes.
Hot.
Yeah,
The
she's hot.
headphones.
There's a lot of cushion in those headphones. And then so like I believe I have a good imagination. I believe everything that people tell us, and
Hmm.
there's no reason for them to give me any proof. For myself though, as far as like do I believe paranormal things happen to me? I need a lot of hard evidence. I have a really hard
Oh my
time of like
God.
having faith in what I'm experiencing is paranormal. Unless it's
Yeah.
like, unless it's something in the sky. If I see something fucking like a weird UFO or moving light, I'm obviously because I'm team UFO.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. There was one time that I was absolutely convinced that I sincerely had a haunting in my apartment. But then I called a few people and found out that that wasn't the case. And I'll go
Oh,
into that later. But
yeah.
I'm the same way. Like if somebody else tells me something, the minute they say like my light flickered, and I'm like, your place is fucking haunted. Did you know that? Your light flickered? It's haunted. But for myself, I'm like, nah, there's no way.
Yeah.
But it seems fishy. It seems weird. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna fuck these. I'm gonna have to take these. Aren't gonna work. These are gonna have to go back.
Well, you
I'm
gave
talking
him
about
the
my
old
headphones.
college try.
I
She's
did.
talking about her headphones. You guys,
Well, at least I know it's recording.
yeah.
At least I know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, one of the other things too is kind of what influenced us to
Hmm.
even know about any of this shit, and it all goes back to our childhood,
Hmm.
and I think everybody else's childhood too. So, like, what are some of your influences that you know of for sure?
Well, we grew up watching Sightings
Oh
and
yeah, that is true. I forgot about that.
yeah, what's that other one?
Unsolved
I don't know.
Mysteries?
Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
saw those things. And so we kind of had exposure as far as the media that we consumed.
Well, the TV raised us. So like we saw
Basically,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that like
Yeah.
made everything up for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna take
Um,
mine off too.
yeah, do it. Fuck them. They're so uncomfortable. And I had wanted to do it because I thought it would look cool, but I just looked like a dumbass. Okay, and then the other thing, the other influence that we had that I didn't realize until recently was Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody watched that. It was a Nickelodeon show where these teens, which it was really cool for us, these teens would go out in the woods in the middle of the night and they would tell scary stories that they would submit to the Midnight Society, like for approval. That's what they would say. I just had to repeat it for whatever reason. Um, and but the thing is that all the stories they told is like all the fucking stories we tell. They had fairies. They had like what are those? The changelings.
Uh-huh.
They have witches. Like they had everything. It's kind of fucking crazy. They had haunted objects. They had haunted houses. They had haunted mirrors.
It just brainwashed us
Yeah,
to
I don't
like
know if
go on this track.
somebody. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. It's but so I rewatched them recently, and that's what made me start thinking about it. I was watching them before I went to bed, and they're on. Somebody said they're on Netflix, but I think that I was watching them on Paramount,
Mm.
and it goes up to season 10, but you can't watch all of them on a Paramount. But either way, that's where it started.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I talked about this on the first show, but
Uh huh.
some of the shows that really inspired me is like the podcast, like was Astonishing Legends. I
Hmm.
really loved that show and loved the dynamic of the hosts and then but also the just the stories that they told. It was
Hmm.
really amazing, like historical stuff that was fun and they did deep dives. But I want to tell you this that
Okay,
the
I'm here.
reason okay, I don't know if
Okay.
I've told you this before or our audience before, but what I've
Okay.
told or what kind of really wanted me to do this as well was that like um I listened to one show and it wasn't Astonishing Legends. It was
Uh huh.
another very popular podcast and they were talking about this phenomenon that happened. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it, but they got some people to come on the show and talk about this phenomenon. And they were very traumatized people, and they were very like grateful for the opportunity to tell their story. And then their host just turned around and was like, "You know that didn't happen, right? You know that that was just a made up story." And I listened to the people that were talking and how
Oh
upset and hurt that
yeah,
they
yeah.
were. And after that, like hearing that, I was like, dude, that would really fucking suck if somebody was like, That didn't really happen to you. I mean, it happens
Hmm.
all the time, but then you do it on a show. That's why I
Yeah.
don't like to debunk anything either. I think that's dumb. Or ask for
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and the other issue with it is that like we refuse to study paranormal as a science. But how the fuck do you study and figure stuff out unless wait, how the fuck do you figure stuff out unless you study it? And
Right.
we all just immediately say, ah, that's not true. So we're not going to study it. Well, that's like the opposite of science. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So if you really want to say it, like we kind of have to look into it. Um, I was going to say something else to you about it, but I don't remember. Oh, do you know what show made me want to do it?
What?
Was it called? Is it called That's Weird? The show
Oh,
ended. It was those
yes.
two girls. But what
Yes.
made me want to do it is that they told a story about a woman who had married a dead pirate and was pregnant with a baby and was having a phantom baby. And then she divorced him. And I was
Hmm.
like, I'm fucking in. Like, I was like, this is so great. I mean, it was the real thing for her. She had a fucking phantom baby and everything. She divorced his ass
Yeah.
because he was drinking too much. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you did a show on it.
I ended up doing the same subject. But then they also talked
Yeah.
about peat one time. So peat is what makes scotch, or it's an ingredient or whatever. And it has a really strong taste. It's like a moss that's found in Scotland. Um it's like a mossy like mud whatever. But they were talking about all the dead bodies that are constantly found in peat. Like they just told like really weird stories and I was like, this is fucking crazy. There's dead people constantly. Like our my scotch is haunted. Like that's crazy, right? The same thing
Yeah.
as people who have like the fake teeth put in, the cadaver teeth or whatever. It's like in your house, your mouth is haunted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
all. I had my extra questions for you, but I don't know if I'm going to ask them. So I'll ask you one.
Hmm.
Are you ready? You're drinking wine.
Yeah.
That must be nice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. What are your top five favorite paranormal things?
Um,
And that was supposed to go along with these because it's Rob from High Fidelity, and he's always like top five,
oh,
and his
that's
records were top
adorable.
five records. I know, God.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it still stands. I like it.
All right.
Um, my top five paranormal topics, like that I
Yes.
like.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. So I can't do these in any
Okay, do
certain
three.
order.
Okay, but you
No,
only
I
can do
can
three.
do five,
And then
but
do three. Okay. You can do five.
okay, I can do five, but I
Okay.
can't label them like favorites.
Yeah. I
They're
don't think
all
anybody
across the
can.
board. Okay. So number one in the numeros is I think UFOs and aliens. Really like
Uh-huh.
to hear about that kind of stuff. I love to hear about alien abductions.
Okay.
And okay, so another one would be Bigfoot, obviously, because he's
Mm-hmm.
adorable. Um, I like mysticism,
Uh-huh.
and I think I'm going to put that in the same vein as spirituality. I
Okay.
feel like that's paranormal. And then how many was that? Three?
Yeah. There's
Okay,
three.
and then I like
Yeah, aliens.
yeah, aliens, man. I don't know. I really like ghosts. Ghosts were
Yeah.
kind of my OG.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And I like anything that has to do with divination and psychic abilities.
Okay, that's perfect. Like that's what I'd pick for you. That makes
Oh,
sense.
and fuck, drugs.
Nope.
Drugs.
Nope.
I
It's too late.
love, no, we're gonna
Yeah.
scratch that psychic ability because I
Really?
like that, but that falls into mysticism. So I'm gonna say drugs. I love drug stories. I love
We never
people
get drug
telling
stories.
me about. That
The
was the
only
deal.
drug stories we got from our fucking parents. Those are the
No,
only drug stories we
we
got.
got one from my friend, and then we got another from a woman who got,
Oh yeah. That was a shroom story from your friend, I think.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So drug stories, which we also do, but nobody likes to send in their drug experiences
right? Because
anyways.
they think they're gonna go to jail. I understand.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That was my surprise question. That was it.
I like it.
I
What
was
are
like,
yours?
be ready.
What's your
What
top
is
5?
poltergeist or haunting?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else is there? A Wendigo.
Yeah.
It's on my shirt. Oh no, I have something else on my shirt. That's not a Wendigo. Okay, poltergeist, Wendigo. Fuck, this just got really hard.
I know.
Okay, aliens
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably witches.
Oh yeah.
Oof. And for my last one, I'm not quite sure. I kind of really like changelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I might go with that one. It'll change another day, but that's what I
Yeah.
have today, and that's what I have for you.
Good. I like it.
Oh, thanks. All
Cool.
right.
Okay.
So, welcome to the
So,
show, everybody. So, usually we retell other people's stories, and it's their like paranormal or strange stories or experiences, and we retell them. Um, but I think that, are you reading the comments?
yeah.
Just, you can't.
Mm-mm.
You gotta stop. Um, so, but today, what we're doing is we're retelling our strange and paranormal stories and experiences to kind of just introduce you to ourselves and like why we got into all of this. Oh, yeah. And the one other thing before I get started, I was supposed to tell you what a succubus was because that's what I promised. So, a succubus is a female demon that has a lot of sex with men, maybe women. I mean, I guess she can have sex with anybody she wants, but she identifies as a female, and she basically like sucks the life out of the person so that she can survive. That's a succubus. Would you add anything else to that?
There's 2 different ones. There's an incubus and a succubus. An incubus is the male
I only promised a
version.
succubus over here.
That's true. That's true. That's all I wanted to add. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
saying you got it wrong. I'm just
And
saying that like
I actually
there's a
think
dude.
we have a story about a succubus
We do.
on our other show. Yeah, very
On our other
interesting.
show.
Oh, on the same
On the
show, but
other podcast that we do.
last season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my paranormal stories and experiences. And I think the first time I ever remember something happening was when we lived in San Angelo, and we lived across from that really, really scary house. And it was a really scary house that you were so brave. We went over there one day and we were looking in the windows, and it was like this old Victorian house that was abandoned, and it had all this really old furniture in it and like dolls and shit. And you were like, I'm going in. And I was like, no. Like, I was so fucking scared. But you fucking went in.
I didn't go in.
Oh my God. Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, you went in. I
Okay.
stood outside and I was like, nah, like pacing. I was like, she's going to die in there. Like, I thought you were going to fall through the floorboards for whatever reason. But that's, so I'm just describing to you where we lived. But we also thought that house was haunted because I
Mm-hmm.
think that you saw a light on one time and there was no fucking electricity in that place.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, in that house, that's where I saw, while we were going to bed, we had bunk beds. I'm on top, you're on bottom. And this little girl climbed up the ladder up to my bed. And the only thing that I remember that's real, that I don't think I made up, because I did elaborate on the story because I need a lot of attention. But I started screaming for you to turn on the light, and the light wouldn't fucking turn on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it
It
wouldn't.
would not turn on. So you actually experienced it with me, but I'm the one who saw it. And I was just screaming, and so you turned the TV on, and then she disappeared. But I think I elaborated on the story and said she had a knife and she ran into the basement and her eyeball was hanging out, and I don't think any of that was true. I couldn't just stop at the fact that I saw a figure of a child and I felt the bed shaking. I don't know if you felt the bed shaking that night.
I feel like I had in the past.
Okay. But what we do know is that the lights wouldn't come on. So there's that. That was the first experience I had. And I don't remember a lot happening in the house, except we were just terrified of the basement in the house.
Yeah,
Side
we played in
story.
it all the time.
Yeah, I was going to add, I used to go down there and smoke cigarettes whenever I was a kid.
What were
But
you
I was really
smoking?
Q-tips.
Did you light them on fire?
Yeah, you know I had a thing with fire. Do you remember? I used to play with
Yeah,
fire all the time. I had a really
yeah.
big burn right here. What did I tell y'all happened?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was like, oh, I just had this huge, because I was gonna get caught for playing with the matches, and I went to like blow them out, and I burned my lip instead. Anyways, that's a
Ouch.
fun story too. I know. Okay, so then we moved to Georgetown, and this was a really creepy house that we lived in, and this is all in Texas, by the way. But so we moved to Georgetown, and there was a graveyard nearby that we used to visit and play in.
Yeah.
God, we were weird fucking kids.
It was like a
And
family graveyard. It wasn't like
yeah, it was like from
a
the 1800s.
cemetery. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was just like six.
They're like, let's bury them all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just knew there was a little girl out there too and a baby. I think it was an infant. And we were like, mm. Okay.
Yeah.
So then in that house, that's where I started astral projecting as a child. Ah, that'll be my fifth thing is astral projection. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm just going to
Fine.
knock witches off my list. So I'm going to put astral projection on it.
Just
So,
fucking throw out the list.
okay. You
We're
know, I'll
gonna
try to
make
be
it
cute.
10. We're gonna make it 10. No, we'll
Okay.
keep it 5. Okay.
Okay. So, astral projection, like if you don't know what that is, it's kind of where you have an out of body experience. And so you can almost like see yourself or maybe visit somewhere else and see everything like very vividly. Is vivid the correct word there? Okay. And so I started doing this as a kid and I didn't understand that that's what I was doing. All I know is I would wake up screaming because I was flying like over land and over all these places and I'm terrified of heights, but I would start falling
Oh
and
no.
mom would come in the room and she would be like it was just a bad dream and I would be like it wasn't a bad dream and I was so adamant that it was so fucking real and I was like it wasn't a dream, it was real. And I would be like I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and she'd be like go to sleep, idiot. Like so like um that's where I started astral projecting and I've been doing it like my whole life and I just never understood what it was until we started doing the show and I was like holy shit, like I'm visiting other places at night, I'm little Miss Magic Head. um and then we had shit happen at the house that our parents currently own. And that was kind of weird because what's kind of started it, I think, was they got us a Ouija board. They fucking bought us the Ouija board and they were like, play with it. And then we played with it and they were like, how dare you play with it? And they took it away and we got in big trouble for it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, I mean, they gave it to us, and like, obviously, we're gonna try to
What
summon
are
the
we gonna do with
spirits.
it? Yeah, we're gonna summon the demons and
Duh.
everything. Like,
We're
welcome
just
them in.
here to learn your alphabets, kids. Spell things.
Like, what the fuck?
You guys like to spell?
We were like, everything's bad in
No.
the world.
Is there a demon here? Come through.
Yeah, and that's basically what we did. And we are like, is there a ghost? Is it a little girl? Is this the little girl that's been haunting Lindsay? I think there was actually something else that happened in that house near the graveyard with me, but I can't recall. It might be your story that I'm making my own. But so after we played with the Ouija board, I started hearing like it sounds like I'm now I feel kind of crazy. My room was really cold, but I also would hear something calling my name. But usually it was mom calling my name. It was
Mm-hmm.
constant. And I would walk in the living room and be like, what did you want? And she'd be like, I didn't call your name. And I'd be like, this is nuts. But I would constantly hear mom yelling my name. So then fast forward like what, 20 years probably, and I have my own house. And then name my mom calling my name started happening in that house. And I remember
Oh.
the first time, and she's still alive, like, so there's nothing spooky about it. I was in my bedroom cleaning one time, and she called me from the living room, and I was like, this mom's not here. Like, she was out of the country, and I was like, this is fucking nuts. But also in that house, I started experiencing what you call brain explosion. So that's where, like, if you're
Exploding
sleeping,
head.
oh, exploding head syndrome.
Okay. It's okay.
So it's exploding head syndrome, but it's where I would be going to sleep and I would wake up to a really, really loud noise or somebody yelling my name or something, and I would just pop awake, but I would like hear it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I started having that there. And then let's fast forward to my current apartment. So this all started, the haunting maybe in my apartment happened whenever I think the first thing were lights flickering. So I had some LED lights in my dining room, and they started flashing. They were plugged in, they started flashing, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I got the controller and I turned it off because I was like trying to correct the issue or whatever.
Yeah.
I walked away and they fucking started flashing again, but I had turned it off. And I was like, okay. And I just got up and I unplugged them and then I threw them away because I was
Yeah.
like, it's just too weird. Like it just felt weird or whatever. And so the weird thing with that is that like the first time that, or a lot of times that a haunting starts, it usually happens through electricity, like flashing lights. That's what you can expect. But then people always say, well, there's an explanation for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a glitch or whatever. The wires were off. Who knows? So that happened. But then I went out of town and I have porch lights that you have to plug in. So while I was gone, my neighbor texted me and she was like, hey girl, your porch lights are on. And I was like, that's weird. They shouldn't be. And I was like, did somebody come over? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, it just doesn't make any sense. So when we got back from being out of town, I was taking my dog out and one of the other neighbors came by and she just looked at me and I was like, this bitch, I know what she's going to do. She said, how are you enjoying your apartment? And I was like, it's fine. And she stared at me and I said, are you going to tell me it's haunted? And she was like, yeah, it's haunted.
Oh
She
my
said,
God.
yeah, she was like, a young girl was murdered in your apartment and she and her family miss each other very much. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, does that scare you? And I was like, no. I was like, it doesn't scare me. I was like, it's fine. I was like, I hope she's happy or whatever, with me living there. So then I ran inside and I was like, that's haunted. Like I think I texted you immediately. I was like, holy shit, this woman just told me it was haunted. So I looked it up and there was a girl murdered in this complex 10 years ago. So she was a student at a local like community college down the street. And she had broken up with her boyfriend and he broke in and he stabbed her to death in her bedroom. So but it didn't say like which apartment number it was. So I was kind of, the maintenance guys will talk to me a lot. So they had stopped by one day and I was like, hey, who was somebody murdered here? And the lead guy was like, and I was like, are you not allowed to talk about it? And he was like, And I said, was it my apartment? And he was like, no, it was a different apartment. And I was like, it was my fucking apartment, I think. But I've talked to a few other people who told me that it was the apartment right above me.
Mm.
And then somebody told me it was another building. So, I don't know what the fuck. But there's been a few other things that have happened in my apartment that other people have experienced. There's a bathroom door in the master bedroom that always opens. I did ask my friend who recently stayed here. I was like, was there anything weird or spooky in that bedroom? And she was like, no. And I told her about the door and she said, it's probably the hinge. And I was like, you're correct. It's probably the hinge. Like, what a great explanation. And then we had a family member stay here one time who said that their cat was here and their cat was terrified of the mirror that I had in that bedroom. And it happened to be a mirror that I brought in from the dumpster, which I don't advocate. I'm the first person that's like, leave a mirror alone. Don't fucking take a mirror. Just leave it. Mirrors are creepy. Like big story, long story short, they're scary. So the cat was really freaked out by the mirror and didn't do well with it. So there was that issue. And then my nephew has also said, has anybody told you there's a ghost in that room? And I was like, yes. I said, why are you telling me that? And he was like, well, because the door keeps opening on its own. So the bathroom door in there always opens on its own. Now, whenever I would take showers in there, nothing happened with the bathroom door for me. So I don't know. And I think that's all I have for this apartment. I think that's the end of my haunting. Oh, the only other thing about this apartment is, and it's hard to tell, right? Because my dog is old. He may have dementia. I don't really know. But since I've lived in this complex, he's scared. Like when we're sitting in here, he spends a lot of time staring at the kitchen. So I've lived in two apartments in this same complex. My first one was in building 14. And I actually did ask the maintenance guy. I was like, hey, do you think this place is haunted? Like, these are how my conversations always go. I'm like, you want to talk about ghosts or UFOs? And he was like, I do think it's haunted. And I was like, which building do you think is the haunted, like the most haunted? And he said it was the building I used to live in. And I actually left this part out because when I lived in that other apartment, terrifying things happened, right? There were a couple of things that happened. First of all, the guy who lived next door to me um, went through a really hard time. And I kept having to call like the mental health. Um, well, I think that's what they're called. The police that we have here in Texas, at least in the Austin area. Ah, fuck. My thing is flying. I thought I had it set correctly. We may have to keep an eye on this, just not flying. I may have to cut this part out. But he was having a really hard time. I kept having to call the police with a mental health like liaison to come with them. And they wouldn't show up and they just kept calling me crazy. But I was waking up to like pounding on walls and screaming. And I was like, something fucking crazy is happening over there. And I kept calling the police and I kept calling the front desk and nobody would do a goddamn thing. And so there was one night that it was super scary because he banged so hard on my wall that my pictures fell off and broke. And I left the apartment and like just went somewhere else. I got all my animals and I left. Because I was like legit scared of the guy. But eventually he got arrested and I don't know he's just gone. I don't know what happened to him. But when they went in the apartment, the maintenance people showed me the pictures. He had like picked up chairs and the chairs were like in the wall. Like he like just the room, there was a table in the wall and there was a vacuum in the wall. But everybody acted like I was crazy and nobody would do anything about it. I was like, it's really like whenever I would call the police, I'd be like, it's really loud banging. And they'd be like, you're calling us because he's banging. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I was like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Okay, so there's that. And so we know that like demons and ghosts and poltergeists and everything, they're really attracted to people going through a hard time and they may be around more and they may interfere with people a little more, right?
Yeah.
And so that crossed my mind. So then fast forward to the winter and I was sitting in my living room and it sounded like the only explanation I had was a huge pipe had burst in our apartment. And I went and checked the water. I mean, and it was so loud that my couch started shaking. And I felt the couch shake. I even grabbed Ruckus. And I was like, oh my, Ruckus is my dog. So like, it was fucking scary. I started walking around my apartment, turning on the water and trying to figure out what wasn't working. I was calling like the electricity, like the utility place, like trying to find out, hey, did something happen? And then I went into my kitchen and I heard a man scream and a glass get broke. I heard a cabinet open. Like it was almost like I was watching a movie. I can't hear anybody's fucking cabinets open. I heard a cabinet open and a glass like pulled out and then like I heard it break.
Oh my gosh.
And I looked at the person who was with me at the time and I was like, did you hear that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what could that have been? So I texted my neighbor and I was like, did you just break a glass? And he was like, no. Like, it was just crazy. He was like, I'm in my bedroom. We had that big freeze. And so he
Yeah.
had a utility fan going. And he was like, I can't hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, did you hear that big bang? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, this is fucking crazy.
That's
So I was
crazy.
real creeped out and like I was so creeped out that I did something the next day, but there's still more to this story.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah. So I'm real creeped out. I'm still in the kitchen. It's pretty late at night. And it sounded like a tiny pebble got thrown at my front door. Like a really tiny pebble. I was on the third floor. And it was us and then our neighbor. And so there was no like a lot of people, we didn't have a lot of traffic. Like I used to
Mm-hmm.
work out up there because nobody came through there. And the person who was with me looked at me and they're like, do I need to answer? And I was like, don't fucking answer it. I was like, do not open that door. Like I was like, I think it's a spirit or something. I was like, just don't. So the next day I went to all my neighbors that shared like walls with me. And so it was three of them. One of them already said he didn't hear anything. I knocked on the other people's doors and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, this is like my couch fucking shook. And
Yeah.
I was on the top floor. It wasn't like there was somebody above me doing anything. And I went downstairs to the girl below me who hated me, by the way. And she just never answered, and I was like, man, it's fair. Like, so I don't know why. I don't think she hated me. I think it was in my head. So I think that's the scariest thing that happened in this complex. But that's whenever I lived in the building that my maintenance man said was the most haunted.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's my story.
Whew. Whew.
But I
I
want to
don't think,
ask you. So you stayed
yeah.
in my master bedroom. Did anything ever happen when you were in my master bedroom? Because I didn't want you to tell
Okay.
me at the time because I was scared, but I'm not scared anymore.
I feel like we kind of talked about it a little bit though.
A little bit.
Yeah. So whenever I stayed at your house, um, I, you and I were hanging out in the living room,
Hmm.
and my gaze kept on going down the hall to the bedroom
Ah! In the
all the
kitchen
time.
area too?
Well, so that's another thing is I did see your lights flashing in the kitchen.
No.
Whenever our nephew was there,
Uh-huh.
he was sitting like so that I had to look at the kitchen, and while
Hmm.
he was talking, the lights flashed. And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to like, freak anybody out or
Yeah.
anything, but I did see your lights flash in your kitchen.
Hmm.
And then so whenever we were hanging out and like we'd be watching television or something, like I just was like
Hmm.
my gaze was constantly going down the hall to
Hmm.
the bedroom. And I don't know if I'm making this up or like if it's I felt like even with the light on, it was really dark. Um,
Hmm.
and then I did experience the door closing, the bathroom door closing. It didn't close
Uh-huh.
all the way, but it closed.
Uh-huh.
And whenever I would go into the bathroom, it felt like somebody was in there with me.
Yeah.
It felt like there was a constant presence like at my right side. Um, and there was one night whenever we stayed up late every single night, but one night
Yeah.
whenever we stayed up really late,
Especially late. Yeah.
real late, like,
I aged like 60 years that night. I looked in the
yeah,
mirror and I was like, oh.
you and I both, like, it was a long night. Um, but so, like, I didn't want to go into that room by myself for a little while. Like, I had
So
to, it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay. Because I also, since we were up so late, felt even more open to the energy around me. And so, like, I felt like there was a granny in that room, that there was an old woman in there that wasn't mean. She was just a judgmental woman who was like, girls, it's time to go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Granny needs her sleep and she's mad. And she probably wasn't a mean grandma, but she probably wasn't a real nice one either. She probably hit people, is what I'm
Like
thinking.
spanked them.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
spanked them.
You
Like
mean
why
spanked on their hiney's?
okay.
And so like but then so I'd go in there, like I had to sit on your couch for a little bit and watch TikTok videos and just kind of chill out for a little
I
while.
think I remember that now because I think I was like, "You want to sleep in my bed?" You were like, "No." I was like, "Peace." Like I
I
hung up
know, you're
before
like,
it
good night. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah. So like I had to watch TikTok videos for a little bit, and then I just went in there and I was and I actually like said out loud, I was um, like, sorry for intruding. Thank you for letting, sleep. I was just trying to be like polite, like it was somebody else's room in a way. And I left a little cinnamon stick on your table as an offering to grandma. And then
God.
I know. And I also do though, I felt like something happened in your closet. I'm not especially sensitive either.
Wait, what's my closet? Like my closet?
No, 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 not
Oh,
the
okay.
yeah, the closet in the spare bedroom. I felt like there was something going on in that closet. Maybe it was the litter box, I don't know. But
Which
like,
one? The closet that had the litter box?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I just
Hmm.
I felt weird about the closet, the one that
The
was open.
closets are creepy. They're creepy,
Mm-hmm.
anyways. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because they're old, like accordion kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just yeah. I mean, that room in general, like the master bedroom, I don't fucking sleep in. I sleep in the other room because like there was some like I went in that room and I was like, oh fuck this shit. I'm gonna sleep in that other room. And it's gonna be very inconvenient when people come over because they're gonna use my bathroom. But whatever.
Wait a second.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, you have bathrooms in both of the rooms. So the one closest to
Mm-mm.
the door is the master bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
A
And
bedroom?
then
Oh, that
my
makes sense. Okay.
and then my bedroom, the bathroom isn't attached. It's across the hall. Like I have to leave my bedroom to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
But
that
that
makes sense.
bedroom, I was just like done with it. Whenever I walked in there, I was like, I don't like this room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Hmm.
But I had felt like kind of like that too the first time that I visited you in Austin. It wasn't necessarily your room.
Hmm.
In the living room, I felt like people would something was touching my hair. Like it was just barely like pulling up little strands.
Like my current apartment.
Hmm. In your
So
living room.
the only other thing that I would add for me too that I didn't share because I just forget things, is that I'm constantly looking. My eyes are constantly drawn to my kitchen as well.
Hmm.
Like the kitchen hallway area. I constantly see like a dark shadow move or like a dark cloud. And I'll look slowly over there and there's nothing there. And I'm always like, I'm crazy. Like,
Yeah.
why do I keep looking over there? But the only other thing is when I had my guests here not too long ago, the the guy who was here was like, "Is your fridge always making really weird noises?" And I was like, only at night, because at night it makes really weird noises.
Only
And
when
he
the
was,
ghost is out.
yeah, I was like, only when it's super scary. um, so I don't know. That's it. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the scary, haunting stories that I have. Damn, how long have we been talking? It's already
Oh,
been an hour,
it's almost
Rebecca.
been an hour. I know we're about to run out of tape here, as they say, which isn't a bad thing. I think that this is good. We could probably just do this for me next time, although I don't know if my experiences. Well, maybe I can draw them out for an hour. Fuck, I can talk for an hour. I've got a lot of
Yeah,
stuff to talk about as far as my paranormal experiences that are different than yours.
yeah, but they still involve me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so this was season two, episode 1A,
Oh yeah.
and you'll be 1B.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. It does.
Well, thanks everybody. Number one for joining,
Mm-hmm.
because it's our first show back, so we're a little rough, and I sound rough because I survived COVID, number one, but then I got bronchitis, and I'm still recovering. And my phone is propped against my water, so I can't drink my water till the show ends
No,
because I didn't
Lindsay.
think about that ahead of time.
That is torture.
I know it's bad.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining, and we're happy for everybody. New listeners, old listeners, thank you so much. If you would like to share any of your stories, you can send them to us at I Have a Strange Story podcast at gmail.com. You can also send them to us on Instagram or TikTok, and we would be happy to retell your stories. Um, what else do you have to add, Rebecca? I forgot what goes next.
Subscribe, rate, and review us.
Mm.
So we have old stickers. So what we would say at this point is, if you review us, please give us a nice review. And if you would like to have some stickers mailed to you after, take a snapshot of your review, send it to our email address with your mailing address, and we'll send you stickers. But we're going to update our stickers because they're old. So
Yeah,
you
a
can
new logo.
still, yeah, you can still like give us a rating or a review and or
Hmm.
both. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm like, and if you like, we'll just hang on to it until we get our new logo stickers made, and then we can send them to you, and we can send you some old ones too if you
And
like.
we also have these T-shirts. I'm wearing one of them.
You still
What does
have
it
some?
say? Yeah, we have a shit ton of these shirts.
Okay.
And
I
it
can't
says
I can't read it.
it says Skinwalkers, the more you know, the more they know you know. And then it has the little shooting star for the
Mm-hmm.
more you know. And then
Da-da-da-da.
Rebecca drew this. Here, let me get in there. She drew. Okay. I think that's all we have then.
Yeah, it was so good. Thank you everybody for showing up, and until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
first
Oh,
guest,
JB
that
Vamp has
shirt.
this shirt.
Yeah, awesome.
You want that shirt too? Well, we can get that arranged.
Do you know who Moonlighting Mama is?
No.
I don't either. Well, Moonlighting Mama is,
Moonling. It's Moonling.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Moonling Mama.
Send us a message on Instagram.
And if we do know you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't
We
recognize
haven't
your
done
name.
this
I'm
in a
so
while.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
JB Vamp is a very old listener and always attended our shows, so we're very familiar with her.
We're so happy that you're here.
Baby Girl was here for a while. I think Baby Girl left.
Is that your friend, baby girl?
It's Vince.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah, I think everybody took off, but thank you, everybody. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.